they'll toss it to him a little bit, get some PPR value. All right, with fantasy out the way, let's move on to our wonderful gift, the financial education that everyone dies for when it comes to sports betting, because these people aren't impulsive that sports bet. Not me, that's for sure. Anyways, so Connor and I actually have a good background in finance and finance-related things, and we were talking before the show, and we said there's like two households of thought on this. Number one is the most obvious one. It is you have your expenses throughout, your week, your day, whatever, and you're like, oh, hey, impulse buy, I'm going to get a Chipotle burrito. You can replace that Chipotle burrito with a $10 bet on whatever team you're feeling. And then, boom, if you win, congratulations, now you have $20, now you get 2 Chipotle burritos. Or if you lose, now it's all gone, and you're like, whatever, I just didn't get my burrito. Instead, I had a typical sandwich for lunch. I think this is a good way to go about it, but it's very important in this situation to, 1, be responsible in betting always. 2, you have to have a budget and plan for this and be aware of your expenses. So this is obvious, simple. I think we said Finance 101. Have a budget, know your expenses, and know what is compulsory purchases. So, Connor, anything else you want to add on that?
Yeah, I think the reality is, I heard somebody, and I think this is great advice to me, it said gambling, if you go to a casino, if you go to somewhere in Vegas, whatever you have, put the money aside and assume it's gone. Just assume it's gone, okay? So if you put it there and you say, hey, because what's going to happen is you're going to get in, you might hit one. And then there's a reason that casinos don't have windows and they don't have clocks, okay? So they don't want you to leave because they don't want you to know how long you've been there. Also, they want you to double down. I would say one smart thing to do, if you double your money, if you win, if you do something along those lines and you make 20, you make 40, you do not have $40 to spend. Take the 20, put it back in and say, I've got $20 to spend. Part of it is keeping that principle. Don't touching that principle of what your original bet was. Fantastic. Put it away. There's another school of thought. I've seen people go into, some online betting and things like that, and they'll have 5 or 6 bets, and then that's what they have. Or they'll take one and do that $10 and say, hey, I'm not buying Chipotle this week. I'm going to take that 10. And then guess what? I'm going to bet a three-leg parlay, something along those lines. Guess what? You might bet one a week. In fact, I have a buddy who bets one time a week. He takes $10. He misses every week. However, he hit. I think it was a 4-leg parlay. Got paid out 10 times, 12 times. Guess what? He just covered the rest of his year for his gambling. So, obviously we're not big whales here. We're not taking thousands of dollars. That's the only real way, in my opinion, to play the odds and just say, hey, and we're talking about blackjack here. So it's something completely different. But if you're going to gamble, the long-term odds are what you shoot for. But the reality is act like it's already gone, because when people say odds are X, Y, and Z, those are long-term odds. Those are, you have to play constantly. You have to play hundreds and hundreds of bets, hundreds and hundreds of hands, just in general. Take the money, act like it's gone, pocket it if you win, move on with that margin. Don't move back on with, oh man, I've got double my money. I'm going to bet 40 now. Wrong.
Like,